I'm here with Dave Boda at Boda Plumbing in Charlotte, North Carolina. Super happy to be here, Dave. Thanks for taking the time with us. Dave's one of our Sage Intacct customers. And Dave, you've been through our deployment process.
Yep.
Tell me how that worked for you.
It went really well. We were able to go at our own pace, get through the videos, understand the product, and it helped me a lot just learning accounting because I'm helping more because we're pretty lean in the office nowadays, so we all kind of share the load. So it's helped me in a lot of ways, and just being able to go at your own pace. And I love the process of not being set to a schedule, because in construction, we might have a meeting set for next week for somebody to come in and go through Sage with us, but we get a job that pops up and I got to spend my time on that. And, so
things happen.
Yeah, 100%.
So when you started in earnest, like you started the process to when you went live, about how long did that take you, do you think?
If I'm cutting out the gap where we weren't doing anything in it, we were live in 30 days.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And the biggest hurdle was actually the just getting the payroll figured out.
Yeah.
Because we're doing payroll in-house. So that was probably the biggest lift.
Sure. Yeah. Well, construction payroll is complex, the way around it.
And we're right on the state border, so it's multi-state. And
you got to get it right. So we understand that. So how, as you go along, and you've made an investment in a modern technology for your company, as you think about the future, how much do you see technology factoring into the long-term success of the business?
It's going to play a critical role. Even in the field work in construction, technology is becoming more and more prevalent. You're seeing robots going out to lay out walls now. We're plumbing a building now on the computer and then using that data to go lay out, core drill holes or sleeves before they pour the concrete. And we know exactly where things are going to be before we go out there to do it. So it's just going to get more and more integrated into the whole process. So.
And, software is not the most fun thing to buy. It doesn't have a nice paint job. You can't dig a hole with it.
Right.
It can't fish from it, and you can't fly in it. You can't do any of those things. But from your perspective, if you were talking to someone else in your business, in some other place, how would you recommend that they look at technology for the future of their company?
I'd probably tell them that the whole industry is moving, towards more technology based. So if they don't adapt to that change, they're going to get left behind. There'll always be a small bit of work for people that don't want to adapt and change, but they're never going to be able to grow and get more profitable.
And are your goals here, growth and profitability? What are you thinking?
Yeah, we're definitely looking to grow. I don't want to be a giant company or anything. No aspirations to get, bought out by a bigger company and kind of lose that family thing. But we have our little niche. We typically have a pretty big mega project at any given time. And so we can do a high-rise downtown Charlotte, but we're also doing, little renovations at somebody's house. So just trying to stay in our lane. We don't go after stuff we know we don't have experience with, and so that we plan on raising up the next generation of good leaders in the company that they're competent plumbers and also can use the technology and help us be more profitable.
That's awesome. I've worked with a lot of different contractors over time, and I definitely have seen over the decades the companies that place a high value on technology are able to meet their own goals more effectively. Doesn't mean that they all grow into massive companies, because that's oftentimes not the goal. They do want to be a consistent, profitable company that offers an excellent place of employment, who can offer great things to their people, build a nice culture, that kind of thing. Because speaking of culture, how do you see culture as a part of your success?
I think, the group of folks we have here, are tight knit, and it's like a family, right? And nobody's a number here. I
Yeah.
know everybody, and anybody's welcome to come talk to me at any time. And so I think that plays a huge part of success in any business is a good culture.
Can't agree more. I always contend if you don't have happy people, you can't have happy customers.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of that, how was your experience working with our team?
Oh, it's been phenomenal. I got to give Mike Bayo a special shout out because he's awesome. We've leaned on him quite extensively, and everybody's great. I don't mean that to diminish anybody, but so yeah, it's been great. We definitely get on the Q&As, putting in tickets if we can't find something on Ask Richard or anywhere on the web, and so we've been real pleased.
So how do you like Ask Richard, by the way?
Oh, it's great. I've enjoyed using it as a first step if I get stuck on something. And it's a quick, easy way to search y'all's content. I've enjoyed it a lot. Definitely better than just doing a Google search. Right?
Yeah, awesome. I'm glad to hear that. We're obviously continuing to improve it and make it better, and got some big plans for that here in the coming months. So
Nice.
Keep your eye on it. We'll check back in with you.
Yeah, if you ever need a beta tester, I'm here.
Absolutely. So I know you've only been live a couple of months now. Yeah. Usually you're still finding your feet just a little bit, right, in that time frame. But do you see where it's going to impact the productivity in your office and give you better information, more timely, that kind of thing? Are you seeing that yet?
Absolutely am. And I know that more is going to come as we go, which is exciting for me. Just being able to work up an invoice and it spits it out on AIA billing. All we got to do is sign it and send it, versus, before we were in QuickBooks and Excel and Word and Bluebeam. And so it's just, everything's where it needs to be, and it's helping us keep track of things a lot better.
So you're finding benefit that it's not all siloed data. It's not like, okay, that's over there, and that's over there, and this piece is over here. Now we got to open up Excel, and we got to put it all in Excel, and then we got to figure out how we're going to export that someplace else. Yeah. That's great. I think that the enemy of progress so many times is the good enough, because it was good enough, like it worked. You were able to do it.
It worked.
Yeah. But I give you a lot of credit for going, maybe good enough is not really where we want to be at.
Right.
So those are the things that I think about in our company as well. The enemy of really getting better oftentimes is the good enough.
Mm-hmm. So that's a good point. Yeah, because not only did I have the investment, but it's been a heavy lift, work-wise and brain power-wise, but I think it'll definitely be worth it.
There's no escaping that. I don't care if it's a software implementation or any change that is going to influence the direction of the business in the future. It's going to take work, and people have to adapt to change. All those things have to come together. I don't care if it's, again, software or you're looking at, how do we automate the shop to a higher degree? How do we automate the field to a higher degree? All those things are a learning curve. But I've also found that the companies that take that on and persevere benefit hugely over the coming decades. In our case, our very first customer from 1988 is still with us as a customer today. And I know that our products and services have saved them tens of thousands of man hours over those years. So that's kind of what we hope for every customer. We want to see you successful, meet the goals you have. That's our job. So if you were talking to a peer, about your transition to Sage and so forth, and they said, well, would you recommend it? Kind of a scale of 1 to 10, what would you tell them?
Oh, I'd give it a 10 that I definitely would recommend it. If they had the means and wanted to make that transition to a more better technology, then I would definitely recommend it.
If you had somebody say, well, I heard about this Bangert deployment process, would you recommend that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd definitely give you guys a 10. Like I said, it's been a great experience. I think just us kind of taking our time for a while, but then really got serious. I think you can see what it can do if you're serious about it.
Yeah. Did the fact that you knew exactly what was going to cost up front help?
Yeah, absolutely. I've never done another major deployment software like other accounting systems. So as far as I know, we've just always been on QuickBooks. Yeah. And when I came into the office 15 years ago, I got us set up with Outlook or Office 365. So we stopped paying for Microsoft software licenses every year. So that was the biggest thing we ever went through. Yeah. So just from a new person going through that type of thing, I think it's been great.
So put it another way, how would you bid a job where the customer walks in your door and says, hey, I'm going to build this building and I'm going to put some plumbing in it. How much will it cost?
Well, I'd turn a napkin over and I'd start scratching some numbers out. No, it's definitely.
But keep in mind, they have no plans.
Right.
I'm
going to build a building. Yeah. So bottom line is, it's impossible to know exactly. So you're very likely to take it on as a T&M job, but what's the likelihood of cost expansion in a situation like that? Oh yeah, it's going to happen for sure.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons we put it together was, we can give a customer a price and we can live up to that price without sending you a change order or additional statements of work or any of that kind of stuff. So, well, hey, Dave, I got to tell you, it's been really fun to talk to you. I'm so happy you're a customer of ours. And we obviously wish you the best success. What I want to do, though, is I want to come back and talk to you after you've had about a year under your belt. And I want to see how you feel about it then and where you are at that point, because I see you progressing pretty rapidly into making Intacct even a bigger asset for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys are welcome anytime.
All right.
Thanks for all the help.
Yeah, you betcha.